Hey guys and gals, it's Hannah the Omaha Introvert, back so soon with another video, and today I am talking about my top 10 most listened to albums during the pandemic. Welcome back. If you're a new subscriber, thank you so much for being here. Hopefully you'll find something of interest on my channel. Talk all about vinyl, music, CDs. It's all good, right? So we've had a lot of time to listen to music during the pandemic, or I know I have. There's been a few months that in particular have been rather slow. So I have spent a lot of time with my turntable back here, just soaking up the tunes. By the way, today is the 30th anniversary of these two glorious albums. That's why I'm displaying them. It's November 4th is the day I'm filming this. So let's just get started. The goal of this video is to keep it somewhat short. So let's just kick this off. These are in no particular order. I do have a number one favorite, of course, that I'll be showing at the end. So the first one I want to talk about is Shoes and their debut black vinyl shoes. And I know I've talked about this one quite a bit in the past, you know, via my Power Pop series and my 1977 video, but this one has been spinning quite a bit. It's a Power Pop must-have, obviously. It's 4-track goodness, you know, these melodies and harmonies on a budget with these dudes from Zion, Illinois. Just look how many songs are packed on this thing. It's just such a wonderful listen. Great songs to check out: Tragedy, Capital Gain, Fatal, Nowhere So Fast. You got the Murphy brothers. I'm just kicking this off with a Power Pop necessity. I want to show Pete Shelley with his first proper solo album, and this one is Homo Sapien. And this will also be featured in my 1981 video whenever I get to that. But man, my friend Shane sent me a copy of this a few months ago. We did a trade of sorts. So just so happy to have this because I literally never see this album out in the wild. I don't know if you guys see it often. I've listened to a lot of Pete Shelley during the pandemic. I will say that. Either with the Buzzcocks or without, it's just fantastic music. And I know there's a recent book that was just released maybe last month or the month before. I haven't checked it out yet. If you have read this, I'll put like a little picture over here. Let me know what you think of it, because I'm thinking of possibly picking it up. So this is definitely different than Punk, which he played with the Buzzcocks. This is more new wave, more synth, lots of synths on this. These songs get stuck in your head, I'm telling you. Especially my favorite song off of this, which I'm going to try to include in my opening clip, is I Generate a Feeling. I basically repeat that song over and over again. It's just so wacky. Homo Sapien, I don't know what it is. Guess I must have been in love with myself. Lots of sarcasm on this, and I just dig it a lot. So I know there's a CD version out there with some B-sides from this album. So that would be something to pick up if you guys ever come across it, for sure. That's another heavily listened to album. Another one that I have mentioned quite frequently, and this is not a surprise to everyone, is Joy Division's first album, Unknown Pleasures. And I've been going through just a heavy post-punk phase as of late. And of course, Joy Division in this album, it's like the ultimate post-punk LP, right? So, yeah, just straightforward, simplistic, post-punk, rock, whatever you want to call it. I'm a subgenre girl, so that's how I differentiate the music in my collection and just music in general. It's dark, gloomy, and doomy, full of despair. Perfect for the pandemic, right? Songs to check out: Disorder, Nude on Fades, Shadow Play, which is my favorite from this, and of course, She's Lost Control. So if you can't handle the darkness, I suggest maybe you go here. And this is Haircut 100 with their album Pelican West. And this is just pure pop. Nick Hayward was in the group. Just look how cute they were. Just look at that. It's a great cover too. So yeah, a record to maybe balance out any darkness you have in your record collection. This is an instant mood lift album for me. And you got tons of great songs on here. Love Plus One was their hit. Fantastic Day, Snow Girl, those are probably my favorites. But yeah, if you need to pick me up, this is definitely one to spin. There's also like many musical genres on here. There's jazz, some funk. It's got a little bit of something for everyone. This is simply just an enjoyable album and one I've been playing quite a bit if I need to lift my spirits. Neil Young and Crazy Horse with Zuma. There's some of my favorite guitar work ever on this album. Sorry, I guess I haven't been showing the labels. I try to do that, but Reprise, of course. This would be a top 3 Neil Young album for me, personally. It's the album he did after Tonight's the Night, which is a very heavy, emotional album. So Danger Bird might be my favorite tune off of this. Great opening song with Don't Cry No Tears. Looking for a Love. Cortez the Killer, of course, that's the one, that's probably a favorite for a lot of people, like out of Neil's whole catalog. You got a mix of like heavy guitar stuff and then acoustic, so Neil Young can do both. Yeah, the raw emotion on Neil's albums, it's like, it's almost palpable. It's hard to take this one off the turntable, that's for sure. We got T-Rex next, and this is his album titled The Slider. It's a gatefold. I really like the cover and the back. With this album, you get a fuller sound. There's definitely crunchier guitars. Most of the time, I don't really know what Mark Bolan is singing about, but I like that ridiculous, playful quality to his lyrics and his music. That's kind of what keeps me coming back to his stuff. And I only have 2 of his albums in my collection. This is probably the favorite that I own thus far. I believe there's 2 singles from this album, Metal Guru and Telegram Sam. There's actually a new channel in the this community. Telegram Sam is her name, so she's another female YouTuber. She shows some really cool vinyl, so go ahead and check her out. I think she has a contest going on at the moment. I'll leave a link down below to her channel. Nothing more to say really, except this is a glam rock masterpiece. All right, we've got 3 left. So this next one, I finally got into my vinyl collection. I had the CD for the longest time. I actually have this little box set. What is it called? I Want to Go Backwards. That's a cool box set I own of Robin's. So this is I Often Dream of Trains from Robin Hitchcock. It's his solo album from 1984. Of course, Robin Hitchcock, his first band was the Soft Boys, which incredibly influential band. Check them out too if you haven't. This is definitely probably one of his best records, and one I've had fun kind of reconnecting with during this time. And funny thing is, I'm not too big on lyrics. I don't always pay attention to lyrics when I'm listening to music. I know a lot of people are different and they're strictly lyrics. They're strictly for the poetry. But with Robin's lyrics, like, you want to analyze them. You want to pay attention because they're so like off the wall and quirky. It's just a more introspective record. It's stripped down to mainly acoustic guitar and piano. I love the songs Cathedral. Uncorrected Personality Traits, that's a funny one. It's just kind of him doing a cappella. The lyrics are hilarious. So, Sounds Great When You're Dead. Of course, the title track, I Often Dream of Trains. And Trams of Old London. Yeah, this is just a solid record full of dark humor, and don't we need that during a pandemic? So this has been in constant rotation for me. So I don't have anything earth-shattering or profound to say about this record that hasn't been said already, and it's Pet Sounds by the Beach Boys. However, it's the vocals only, so just the vocals. So if you haven't heard the album that way, if you haven't experienced the album with just the vocals, I highly recommend it. And again, this one has been just like affixed to my turntable. Like, it's hard to move on to another record because it's just so gorgeous and beautiful. And how the Beach Boys arranged harmonies, it always amazes me. Like, every time I listen to this, it's like, why aren't more groups doing that? We need to hear more harmonies done in a creative way, like the Beach Boys. This blows my mind. This is so good. And I think a lot of these tracks were probably available on that Beach Boys Pet Sound Sessions box set. Like there's a green box, CD box set out there. I think probably a lot of these are on there. But anyway, this has been a favorite buy for me and can't stop listening to it. Another album that I've enjoyed revisiting that's extremely nostalgic for me to listen to is The Forgotten Arm by Amy Mann. And I've probably discussed this album in one of my older videos. But yeah, this has ended up staying in my CD player for a length of time once again. And I probably hadn't listened to it for 5 to 7 years. When I came back to it, it's like, damn, this is really well composed, well thought out stuff. And this is a concept album. What's cool about this, and I really wish that Amy Mann's back catalog would get reissued to vinyl. I mean, there's just awesome artwork with the lyrics. It's basically about an alcoholic boxer and this woman who fall in love. It kind of documents just the pitfalls of addiction and all the destruction it causes to people around them and their relationships. Wonderful production, wonderful story. You can't go wrong with any of Amy Mann's albums, really, but this one I have gravitated towards the most during the pandemic. So, Forgotten Arm, Amy Mann. All right, lastly, this is the pandemic album for me. This is Depeche Mode's Ultra. And y'all know that I'm a Depeche Mode freak. And I did a ranking video. I'll put that up above if you want to kind of join in and share your personal list. But I think before, like in that video, this may have been somewhere in number 5 to 7 as far as my ranking. Well, now it's in my top 3. It just has such depth. And this is the first album Depeche Mode did without Alan Wilder. So he left the band. This was kind of like a period of upheaval. Dave, the singer at this time, was like battling his own demons. I mean, he was addicted to heroin. He had a suicide attempt. There's just like a lot going on. Somehow, in dealing with all of that, they pulled it together and it just like strengthened their sound for this album. So, and this was released in 1997 originally. I can't even tell you how many times I've, turned off the lights at night and just would sit back in my chair, have my dancing lights on. Those are the only lights, and just like soak this album in, relax. It's got a very relaxing vibe throughout the album. Ultra from Depeche Mode. That's all I'm going to say about that. And finally, yeah, so those are my top 10 most listened to albums during the pandemic. And finally, my favorite discovery during the pandemic, which I was so ignorant of before for whatever reason, but The Saints. And yep, I've showed this album before on my channel, but this is my favorite discovery for sure. And this is their debut called I'm Stranded. Top 3 punk album for sure. Australian punk band. This just rips. It's killer. So yeah, that would be my favorite discovery. New to me, but it's from 1977. Thank you for joining me for this video. I would love to continue this discussion with you in the comments below. If you want, go ahead and list your top 5 most listened to albums during the pandemic, top 10, whatever you want to talk about. Like, I will be checking out my comments and responding, hopefully in a timely manner. But yeah, thanks for being here. This is a fun video, and I'll catch you guys next time.